Hello and welcome to another model building workshop. I'm Mr. Allen. I'm here at the Smith Hill Library in Providence, Rhode Island. And today we're going to be looking at some Chinese infantry from the World War II era. This is a model from YUFAN, I believe is the name of the company. This little poster thing that came with the kit. YUFAN Models in 35th scale. Now these are resin figures, so that means that they require super glue to assemble these. So this is something that I found on the internet while searching around looking for stuff, and I came across this company and its products, and they've got a number of different things from World War II through to modern and some fantasy things as well. So I thought I would give it a shot. So let's take a look at what's in the box. There's a bunch of little bags here. Let's get everything out. Okay. So you get figures in a bag. There's there's 4 figures in this set. And this is the Chinese Nationalist Army that would have been fighting the Japanese in the 30s and 40s throughout World War II. They also would have been fighting the communists as well, the communist Chinese forces too. So here's an example. You can see that the detail is quite nice on these. Again, resin figures, so you need the super glue to attach the parts to them. Although it doesn't look like it's going to be that complicated to do. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of parts to this. You know, a couple of arms. And then they've got a separate sprue of parts for the gear and the weaponry. Let me show you the other figures first. Here. Hold on, let me pause this while I try to get these bags open. Okay. So there's a figure here. This one is got some stick grenades that he's about to detonate. Here, that's going to be charging with a rifle. Do like the facial expressions on these. And then there's a machine gun on this one here. The set also includes, I can get this. A set of decals for the shoulder patches and the helmet emblems. So that's what that is. Carefully put that back in there. And we get the equipment set here. I'm going to show you the poster in more detail in just a second, because that's pretty much what you have for instructions. I thought I opened this already, but the downside of these little bags is a little tricky to work with here. So here's an example of some of the weaponry. In some cases the hands are already molded onto them. You know, some Mauser rifles, Mauser automatic, well, semi-automatic pistol there, MP28, machine gun there, Stick grenades and other personal items here, ammunition and gas mask canisters, and the 1935 German helmets. So the Chinese were being supplied in the 1930s by the Germans. They bought a lot of equipment from the Germans prior to the Germans signing a pact with Japan, the Berlin, Rome, Tokyo axis, and they abandoned their alliance with the Chinese and with an alliance with the Japanese instead. Although it makes me wonder if the Germans hadn't done that, what Pearl Harbor and all that would have looked like if they were still an ally of the Chinese and not the Japanese, but that's a whole other issue. So this is the instruction, such as it is, for the kit, and it shows you some really great illustrations there of these figures. You know, it shows how good they're going to look. So you have one that's charging with the, I think it's an MP28, I guess, machine gun there. I think this is a Czech machine gun that the Germans acquired when they took Czechoslovakia. There's the stick grenades being used by the, I believe, the officer here. And to me, this seemed like it was inspired by the film with Christian Bale that came out just not too long ago, called Flowers of War, in which they were dealing with the whole incident in Nanking in the 30s, and had some scenes with the Chinese taking on the Japanese in that film. And some other illustrations there and how they get to be assembled. And of course, you know, if you're ambitious, they give you extra equipment to do other things with them if you want. Although I don't know how easy it is to work with resin in that sense for kit bashing. But anyway, so that's what the figures look like, and they look like they're going to be pretty good. So let's give a little background on the uniforms here. I have one of the men-at-arms from Osprey. This is the Chinese Army, 1937 to 49. So this deals with the World War II period and the Civil War that came afterwards, when the nationalists here were taking on the communists. So this gives you a breakdown of the different types of uniforms, including this one that's with the kit. So the Chinese had different units, different elite units, and that's what we're looking at with this kit from YUFAN, is basically this group of soldiers here. You know, you get the same machine guns and the German-style helmets and the khaki uniforms. So that's basically what we're working with this kit. You know, but there are some other types of uniforms that were in use with the nationalist forces, as you can see here. And we get into the later war period, when the United States and Britain began supplying them, and then the Civil War period in the late 40s. So a little background. So this is the experience of World War II. John Campbell here. So let me see if I can find this map now. Gives you an idea here. During World War II, the areas in pink there showing Axis-controlled territories. So this is what the Japanese Empire was looking like during the war. And you can see a lot of China was under Japanese control. So this is the states of things in China. You can see the chunks that were by the Japanese occupation during the war. And before that, because China and Japan have been fighting since 1937, prior to World War II. And basically, that's what led to World War II for the war in the Pacific, is because the United States began to embargo things like oil and other raw materials because the Japanese were continuing to fight in China, and then the United States and other countries are trying to protest that war. So this is another figure set that you can pick up and try out. I'm looking forward to working on this one. I mean, it is resin, so it does have some drawbacks in that you're going to use the super glue, but it looks like these are really crisp and clean figures. Probably not going to require a lot of work. That's my hope, because they're so, I mean, they're really nicely molded. They're quite exquisite. So I think this is going to be a fun project. Probably not a lot of work. That's the plan. And it's another topic, because you have the Chinese Army, so it's something else you can do with some different dioramas and different ideas. The Chinese nationalist forces have been a kind of a missing piece in World War II figure models. I think this for a lot of reasons. Probably political, since a lot of the model companies are in China. The nationalists are not exactly a favorite, but who knows? I don't want to speculate. But so I'm going to give this a shot. This is YUFAN 135th Chinese Infantry. All right, well, we will catch you soon on the next model building workshop. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.